Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of AB in the Films. It's been a long time since I've done a review. I just saw the film Marty for the very first time, and this is a movie I've been wanting to see for the past couple of years. Okay, I just want to say this right now. If you're one of those people that says, I don't want to watch a black and white movie, it's old, it's not necessary, it's distracting, you guys are missing out on a ton of classics. Seriously. Like, don't let the black and white keep you away. Don't. Oh, I only watch movies that are in color. That's ridiculous. It's the story. It's the acting. That's what you guys want to see. This film... Okay, I've never even heard of this film. I was working with a friend of mine a couple of years ago, and we were talking about movies that won Best Picture at the Oscars. And we were going over films from the 1950s, and I remember we were talking about, what films won Best Picture, and one of them was Marty from 1955. And I remember asking my friend who was talking to me about this, I said, what's that movie about? And he told me, he said, oh, it stars Ernest Borgnine. And I'm like, Poseidon Adventure, Ernest Borgnine? Ooh, okay, that should be good, because I know him from the Poseidon Adventure. And he said, it's just about a man who can't find a woman. That's the movie. It's a day in the life of this man, and he can't seem to find anybody. He's in his mid-30s, lives with his mother, can't find anybody. And he meets this girl one night, and it's just them on a date. That's the movie. And he was telling me this, and I said, okay, I can relate to that. This is like a few years ago, but I remember thinking, okay, I can relate to that. I'd like to see that. I've never seen Ernest Borgnine in another film before. I've only seen him in Poseidon Adventure. I know he's done other things, but I've just never really seen him in anything else. And this is 1955, so this is 17 years before the Poseidon Adventure, so he's a lot younger here. And I've always wanted to check this movie out, so I finally sat down and watched it a couple nights ago, and I gotta say, This movie was nominated for 8 Academy Awards. It won 4. Best Director, Best Actor, Ernest Borgnine, and Best Picture. Okay? And it won something else, I forget. I know Betsy Blair was nominated for Best Actress. She plays the love interest. And I gotta say, her chemistry with Ernest Borgnine, it works. It just works. But the whole film is just, you start feeling for Marty a little bit, because it's all about him. He works in a butcher shop. His boss is selling it to him, and he's not sure whether or not he wants to own the business. And, he's one of, I think 7 children or something, and I think he's the oldest, or the youngest, I forget, but all of them are married, they all have kids, he's still alone, he's not, he can't find anybody. And his brother invites him to this place, the Stardust Ballroom, I think it's called, and through some circumstance, he runs into this woman, and they just start talking, and they start having a conversation, and they just hang out all night, and they just talk about their lives, and, well, he does a lot of the talking, for those who have seen the movie, but they have a really good chemistry, and I found this movie to be very, for a movie that's an hour and a half long, it didn't feel like a long movie at all, and it didn't feel short. It felt just perfect. This is a film that more people should tune into. I mean, the reason I wanted to see it is because 2 reasons. 1, I've always wanted to see Ernest Borgnine in another movie. And 2, this movie won Best Picture. Okay, I kind of would like to see it for that reason. But also, when I heard what the plot of this was, I thought to myself, I can relate. I mean, I'm not in my 30s yet, but I can relate to this because Marty's in his 30s and he can't find anybody. And you know, I feel the same way. I'm not here complaining about, you know, relationship issues or anything like that, but I could relate to that. And I'm like, okay, I know it's a movie, but let me watch it. And I gotta say, you know, I was really intrigued by it. Really was. And I hope you guys check this movie out. It's definitely worth a viewing. Yeah, really enjoyed this. And the emotion is there, and the characters are great. I mean, I loved the woman that played his mother. You know, all the conversations, but it doesn't feel like it's a script. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how good the acting is. That's how good the pacing is. And it's like there are moments when I'm watching because, you know, some movies from the 50s, when you watch it now, you say to yourself, oh, that wouldn't happen. You know, people don't talk like that. And that's just in the movies. No, it feels like it's still relevant, obviously. I mean, I know it came out in 1955, but it's still a relevant movie. It's about a guy who has a lot of heartache in his life, and he finds this woman. And, you know, actually, I'll tell you this. There's a moment in the film, early in the movie, when he's talking to some friends of his, and they say, hey, Marty, we got this girl that, you know, we went out with her, you know, her and her friend, the two of us went out with her and her friend about a month ago. Here's her number. Why don't you call her up and ask her? And I love and this scene was done so perfect. He calls up the woman, but we don't hear her on the other end of the telephone. The camera's just focused on Ernest Borgnine on the phone. And the conversation is, hey, do you remember me? My friend and I, we took you and your friend out like a month ago. Remember we had a good time? You ordered this. I was wearing this. And she still can't remember. She has no idea. Till finally, after like the 7th time trying to get her memory to jog, she finally remembers. And as he's having this conversation with her, the camera's slowly zooming in on Ernest Borgnine's face. And he says, hey, why don't you and I go out? And he goes, oh, no, I understand. I understand. And it's like, when she obviously hangs up the phone, but the camera's just focused on him, and he's like you could just see the pain, the heartache, the emotion, and the guy's acting. You know, it's like, that's how good it is, and the music adds to it. But that was a scene that first of all, I could relate to that. That's happened to me many times, but it's just. Oh, man, you know, for an actor for a movie that's all about this guy trying to find somebody, and he finds this woman, and they just go on a date. That's the movie. And when the date is over, the woman goes home to her parents. I forget her name in the movie. I wish I remembered it, but it's Betsy Blair is the actress. She tells her parents, I was all set to be with this guy, but he left me, and I met this guy named Marty, and we really hit it off. You know, I really like him. And Marty was supposed to call her like the next day or something for like another date because they wanted to meet up again. And his friends are telling him, or the people he's hanging out with are basically telling him, oh, you don't need her? No, you don't. No, it's too good to be true. You don't need her. But because he hangs out with his friends, he's thinking to himself, maybe it wasn't real. Maybe our date, that connection that we felt wasn't real, because this doesn't happen to me. Women don't go out with me. I'm a fat, ugly man. You know, that's how he thinks of himself. Because women don't look at him and they don't go out with him. He keeps getting rejected. And finally, when he's hanging out on the street corner with his friends, who are basically just a bunch of jerks, you know, he was supposed to call her, and she's all upset, like, cause she felt a connection with him, and he didn't call her back. And finally, the very end of the movie, it's one of the best scenes in the film. A really good ending, actually. He finally snaps and he says, I can't be here with you guys anymore. I'm calling her right now. I'm going in there. I'm calling her up right now. They're like, what's wrong? What's the matter with you? He goes, I'll ask that girl to marry me if I have to. We had something here. I want to keep that going. I know that was real, and I want to keep it going. And he calls her up, and that's the end of the movie. And I just remember thinking, you know, maybe they'll get married, maybe they won't. I mean, they just met. But the fact that the guy found somebody, you know, and the way it's portrayed and the way Ernest Borgnine plays this character, oh my gosh, was I see why this won Best Picture and why he won Best Actor. It really, really decent flick, you guys. Really good.
No, Ma, I don't want to go to Stardust Ballroom because all that ever happened to me there was girls made me feel like I was a bug. I got feelings, you know. I had enough pain. I'm going to stay home tonight and watch the hit parade.
You're going to die without a son.
So I'll die without a son.
Oh, Marty, put on the blue suit, huh?
Blue suit, gray suit. I'm just a fat little man, a fat, ugly man.
You're not ugly.
I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly.
Marty.
Ma, leave me alone!
What are you doing New Year's Eve?
Nothing.
This is the simplest and the most beautiful love story I've ever seen in a movie.
So those are my thoughts on Marty. I hope you guys check this movie out. Please don't ever let a black and white movie keep you from watching it, okay? Some of the best films out there are in black and white. Some of the greatest TV shows are in black and white as well. So those are my thoughts on Marty. I love this movie. I hope you guys like it too. And I will see you guys in the next review. Later.